Hello everyone, X here. So to start off the first game review, I thought I'm going to do a first Halo Custom Archive video. I should cover the most popular, most amazing custom creation ever created for the Halo community, in my opinion, but I'm pretty sure a lot of others will agree, and that is the Halo 2 Zombies. What we know is Infection, but back in the day it was just called Zombies, or also in some cases it was called Dawn of the Dead, or 28 Days Later. Halo 2 Zombies was so popular when it was created back by the Halo community back in Halo 2 that Bungie themselves even created an actual legitimate game mode for Halo 3 so you could actually play it in multiplayer and actually be able to do custom creations a lot easier, because back then we were stuck with an honor system, but with Halo 3 they actually were able to implement changes programmed in there for it to work. From then on forward, countless custom games with different versions of Infection were made, and some with zombies either fast or some zombies moving super slow, zombies that drove vehicles, some that jumped super high, and a mix of other things and so on. And I'll be covering these game modes and more in the future, but today I'm going to talk about the original Halo 2 Zombies. Going back to the roots of the original custom game mode, the original Halo 2 Zombies did not have its own game type back in the day. In order to play this, which something happened in Halo 5 where they didn't even have zombies when it first came out with, so you actually had to make this work the same way they did back in the original days, was in order to play it, you had to get a match of Team Slayer going. Now, there will be some that say they played it differently in some changes, because back then there was no really set standard rules, but from the years that I played it, from the observation analysis of the game mode, it would start out with either 1 or 2 zombies depending on the size of the player count. If more than 8 players were in a lobby, then they would have to have 2 zombies. If it was just 8 or less players, then it would be 1 zombie. There were 2 teams, red team, which would be the humans, and the green teams, that would be the zombies. Before the match would start, the players would go to their assigned teams, so when the game started, you had to be on the right default count to start. All players carried 2 weapons, an energy sword for the zombies, and the humans, they would carry the SMG Magnum BR or shotgun. They did this because you couldn't assign different teams to different weapons, and so what would happen is they needed a zombie to spawn in with an energy sword, but they didn't want a human to have an energy sword. So what would happen is when they spawned in, they could drop their swords, if you were humans, for other human weapons around the map. I would usually go with 2 dual-wielded magnums and a BR. That was kind of my way of playing. The way it was also set was that radar would be turned off, no shields, no friendly fire, no grenades. The time would usually be unlimited, but in rare occasions, they could turn the timer off. Some game modes would even have vehicles, including a tank, which was pretty fun to play on Zanzibar, on the beaches. The party leader had to be the moderator of this game and would have to kick anyone that didn't follow the rules back in the day, as it was an honor system style of rules. Humans could only use any weapon besides the sword. Zombies, on the other hand, could only use the sword. When you get killed by the zombie, you had to switch teams. If you did not follow the rules, if you got killed by the zombie but didn't switch teams, then you got kicked. That was the only way to kind of enforce the rules. Which also, I want to show this funny comment that I found while researching all these old custom game modes, and someone mentioning about Dawn of the Dead custom creation, the zombie mode. It was pretty funny to watch this, because this guy was saying how it would never work out because of the honor rules and whatnot. So it's funny to see is how this was the conclusion. People were like, oh, Dawn of the Dead would never work out, or zombies would never work out, and turns out it actually did work out. But it was pretty funny to think that back then they thought they was never going to become big, and look at it now. It's the hugest custom creation on Halo. Also, the honor rules went over glitches too, which were whether or not you could use them, like super bounces or super jumping out of the map. Was a massive thing back in Halo 2, and people loved to get out of the maps. So, but sometimes the admins allowed it if the zombies knew how to also get out of the map. If everyone knew how to get out of the map, we would be like totally fine with it if you guys wanted to get out. But if too many people didn't know how to, then it would be like the rule was you had to stay inside the map. The way to kind of enforce this was the moderator would be the starting zombie. In Halo 2 zombies, it could be playable on any map at all. That was the cool part about it. But in Halo 2, that's not the only cool part about it, but that was one of the great aspects of it versus some of these other custom creations back in Halo 2 where you could not actually, it would sometimes be focused on a particular map. But in Halo 2, most of the common maps that people love to play on were Backwash, Headlong, Foundation, Ascension, Lockout, Zanzibar, Relic, Tombstone, and Turf. Those were, for the most part, the maps that were the most common to be played on. Though I did play on the Xbox Live original back in the day, so I don't know how popular it was on PC and what maps were played that might have been PC exclusives, because I didn't play much of the Vista version back in the day. But after watching some gameplay clips on YouTube and also speaking to some people that played on the PC that played zombies on Vista back in the day, they told me that Uplift was pretty much one of the maps they really enjoyed playing on, which was a PC exclusive Halo 2 map. Upon further researching, I came across more information and found out that the devs made an official Halo 2 Zombies game type that released through the official Xbox magazine in Demo Disc 45 as a download for Xbox in June of 2005. This was the official way to get the game type on the Xbox version of the game. This Halo 2 Zombies would easily get filled up with people that wanted to join in without a question. People would right away just hit me up because I was always the one hosting these parties. So people right away said, oh, hey, I want to play. And I would get tons of invites the second I would get on. Before I'd even barely start my game, the second they saw that I was signed in, they would say, hey, let's start up a zombie match. So this was basically a huge thing. I would constantly be hosting these matches back in the days of Halo 2. I myself would hit up all my friends and we would just go and play right away. It never took long to get a full party of 16 players. And also custom games to this day. Most Halo 5 custom games, when you go to the search browser, are mostly Infection. So that was kind of thing. I mean, it is interesting to watch how it evolved from an honor system in Halo 2, and I think even people went back to Halo 1 and played it with mods and stuff. The only thing with Halo Combat Evolved was you had to use melees if you were on the PC doing it, because they didn't have a sword back in Halo CE, unless you used the custom edition, then they did have a sword. And they used blue team instead of green team for zombies. In Halo 2 also, you didn't have to worry about so many quitters. People were actually smart and played wise, and if enemies were in a good spot, what you would do is just group up and then attack all at once so that you could overwhelm your enemies, or you could basically just coordinate and try and find ways to sneak around. We even used crates as barricades and would hit them with our swords to move them closer to the enemy and block their view so that we get closer to them and have a better chance at attacking them. In Halo 3, Bungie makes it an official playlist, an actual game type called Infection, and with this new game type came a whole bunch of new custom creations, including Calorie Road, 4 levels, Fat Kids, Jaws, Swing, Whack-A-Mole. I could go on forever, but there's a lot. So you had the ability to customize the options, and you could even make alpha zombies that made the initial zombie have different player traits than the players that got infected. The Living Dead playlist was something that was temporarily in there for a bit, then it also came back to the double XP playlist on and off. It was also available during the Halloween period, obviously, and so I could go on through the entire list of the matchmaking variant ones that they had that were official ones, but you can find them on Halo Wiki and Halopedia. And for this video, I'm just going to focus on the Halo custom creations from the community. Halo Reach then introduced a new thing for Infection, which was called Safe Havens, and they even had an official Living Dead playlist matchmaking that was permanent. But at first, though, it was originally only available as a certain option in Rumble Pit to be selected, but later on they made the Living Dead playlist unofficial. It was also cool that you could use armor abilities and even more customized options with your game types for Infection. There was a brief moment in which unfortunately people could betray each other as humans in matchmaking and not become Flood. It was some sort of update that happened between Bungie and didn't get fixed till 343 took over from Bungie when they stepped down. In Halo 4 though, unfortunately it took a little bit of a backpedal with some of its improvements. The Infection mode became Flood mode, and they introduced new models with zombies where you could look like a Flood. It was pretty cool looking, to be honest. It was pretty cool to look like a Flood. But even though it was neat and cool, and your Flood character had like this big tendril arm that acted like a sword, you couldn't pick up weapons. There was a glitch that I noticed a few times where it looked like your character was holding a weapon in the tendril hand of yours, like a DMR or something like that, but unfortunately it didn't actually work. And due to high demand, about like 2 years later or 3 years later, 343 Industries eventually came out with an update with the ability for the infected to hold a weapon, but the character didn't keep that default Flood model. Instead, it was just a green green color swap instead and stuff like that. So you didn't actually get to keep that cool model to at least shoot weapons with. So that was unfortunate, but it was something people really wanted to because you couldn't use hammers or anything, and that was pretty lame. So it was good that they updated that. Also, the armor abilities that they made, it made it way too easy for the flood infected characters to just thrust, go invisible, use Promethean vision, and just kill humans way too easily, which caused some complaints that the zombies were just OP. Also, zombie players got a different HUD that looked all cool looking, and it was pretty cool because you had like the vision of the flood, and it was pretty cool to see that. It kind of introduced something new there. Halo Master Chief Collection in the Halo 2 Anniversary gave a slight improvement, but you know, there was a little bit of backstep there. The infected still looked like flood. It was a lot cooler looking, in my opinion. The characters were just upgraded with, you know, PBR based texturing, so the graphics were well done, and you could use weapons with your flood at least, so you didn't have to worry about the Halo 04 problem. Problem was though that this only worked for Spartans for that flood model. The elites, when they were infected, which was cool to be able to play as elites again, unfortunately didn't have a model for that, so they just played as a color swapped character instead for that situation when they became infected. Infected players got a cool looking sword though. It was like this reddish animated texture material sword that looked really cool. It was a lot of fun to play on multiplayer. Unfortunately, Forge did not have much content, and because of those issues with the MCC, just the population died out so fast because of all those lag and issues that you couldn't play with your friends, and this big hype just all of a sudden died out, and all of a sudden because of that, not much content got created. But supposedly 343 Industries is in the works to fix that and get a search browser in there, and hopefully this might introduce more custom game types and maps getting created. And in Halo 5, which was a little bit bittersweet, and there were some more negative things than Halo 4 did and some better things than a lot of the other infection games. They removed the flood models entirely, which was kind of unfortunate. I kind of liked it, but they just went back to color swapping. Can't play as elites anymore again, which is unfortunate. The worst of all, infected wasn't even in the initial launch of the game. It wasn't added until like several months later, so people had to resort to DIY or do-it-yourself infection. But a lot of players were definitely upset that it took so long for 343 Industries to make that change available, and I'm pretty sure 343 knows that for future Halo titles that they gotta make sure they have flood at launch. Unfortunately, there were still glitches when the game mode came out, and they still have not been addressed. If you guys know, if you play a lot of Halo 5 Infection, you know about hybrid zombies, where the zombie of a new player that just joined in spawns in as a zombie, but is somehow friendly on the human team, and the zombies can't kill them, and the humans can't kill them back, and can't kick anyone. So if the zombie's AFK, then you gotta wait for the timer to run out. If you have a timer, if you don't, then you kind of have to just end the game and try to start it up again, and you kind of lose your population from that. So that was kind of unfortunate. The good part was you had a search browser so people could join in, but on the bright side as well, we also got a giant load of custom creation game modes out there. I mean, one of the things I liked, I know some people like it, some people hate it, was a survival series. I like the survival series because it kind of reminded me of zombie escape mods with Counter-Strike. So that was one of the things I also liked, and there was a couple other ones like the alien ones. Oh my god, those are so fun to play. Infected players got a cool looking infected sword. It was kind of like the one from the Master Chief Collection, but instead of a red texture, it was a green texture, so it looked like an eerie green, like what you think for the zombie modes that we always use green for. So you got that green animated textured sword, and also the characters, the infected players, had that green fog behind them that would chase them, and that was pretty cool too. I like that as well. Next is Halo Online, which is basically just Halo 3 PC with some features from Halo Reach and Halo 4 added in, and there were many custom games that were made by the community that either were recreations from the original Halo 3 or even Halo 4 and Reach or so on, or they created their own new ones on top of that. The original creators that came up with this creation back in the days of Halo 2 are currently unknown at this point, as it was such a long time ago, but maybe one day we might find out who created it. So now it comes down to the ranking. You guys have all probably been waiting for this. Well, at least some of you have. This custom is truly one of the best custom games, custom creations from the Halo community that I'm giving this the Champion Award. This is one of two so far that I can even think of that are going to get the award, and this one deserves it because this should be known as the greatest Halo custom creation ever made by the Halo community. Even to this day, this game type is still the most popular playlist on the Halo social multiplayer list. This one is by far one of the biggest impacting custom creations made by the community that has affected Halo in such a large way. So it really does deserve this award, and I'm absolutely glad that this creation got made because it, brought so much enjoyment for me to play Halo on custom games, and I'm glad that it's been something that just keeps continuing on to get better and better, and hopefully it continues to grow, and hopefully I can't wait to see what they do in Halo 6. Thank you all for watching. Make sure to rate, comment, and subscribe. If you enjoy watching my videos, then make sure to turn on notifications to get updates on this channel for new Halo Custom Archive videos. Check in the video description for more information. Also, if you have any suggestions for other custom creations that I should cover, like custom games, mods, maps, and so on, then make sure to message me and even join my Halo Custom Archive Discord. I would love to hear them. Again, my name is XFerginatorX, and you all have a great day. See you later.